Have you ever wondered which singers truly inspired Janis Joplin, the legendary voice that changed rock and blues forever? Today, we're diving into the 5 singers she called her soulmates. These artists shaped her sound, her spirit, and even her life. If you want to hear stories about the music, the struggles, and the raw emotion behind Janis's favorite voices, stick around until the end. Because this isn't just about music, it's about the soul behind the songs. And I promise by the time we finish, you'll see Janis Joplin in a whole new light. How her soulmates influenced everything she did, from her style to her legendary performances. So stay with me, because the story behind these 5 singers will change how you hear Janis forever. Janis Joplin's voice is famous for its raw power and emotional depth. But that sound didn't come from nowhere. It grew from a deep connection to the blues, especially the women who came before her. Among all those influences, 2 singers stood out as soulmates to Janis: Bessie Smith and Big Mama Thornton. Bessie Smith was the first. Known as the Empress of the Blues, Bessie's voice was a thunderstorm, loud, proud, and unapologetically real. Janis discovered Bessie's records as a teenager and instantly felt a bond. She admired how Bessie sang about pain, love, and life with such honesty. For Janis, Bessie's music was a map to understanding her own emotions. Janis once said that listening to Bessie was like looking in a mirror. The way Bessie's voice cracked and soared, carrying the weight of every heartbreak and joy, that was Janis's dream. She wanted to sing like that, not polished or perfect, but full of soul and fire. Then there was Big Mama Thornton. Her gravelly, fierce voice and attitude made her stand out in the 1950s blues scene. Big Mama was the original singer of Hound Dog, a song later made famous by Elvis Presley. But for Janis, the real power was in Big Mama's delivery, loud, wild, and unfiltered. Janis connected with Big Mama Thornton's refusal to be tamed. Both women shared a fierce independence, breaking barriers in a male-dominated industry. Janis even called Big Mama one of her biggest inspirations, admiring how she used her voice not just to sing, but to make a statement. These blues queens taught Janis something crucial. Singing is about telling your truth, no matter how rough or painful it is. They were her soulmates because they showed her how to pour her soul into every note, to sing not just with her voice, but with her whole being. But Janis didn't stop with blues queens. Her soulmates came from all kinds of backgrounds and styles, each adding a new layer to the complex artist she became. While the blues laid the foundation for Janis's voice, 2 more women expanded her range: Patsy Cline and Billie Holiday. These singers didn't just influence her sound, but also the emotional depth and vulnerability she brought to her performances. Patsy Cline was a country music star with a voice that could break your heart and mend it in the same breath. Janis admired Patsy's ability to tell a story with every song. Unlike the raw blues power of Bessie or Big Mama, Patsy's singing was smooth, controlled, and deeply emotional. Janis said that Patsy showed her how to mix strength with tenderness. Patsy's songs often talked about love and loss, but her delivery made them universal. Janis learned from her that singing wasn't just about screaming or power. Sometimes, the softest notes carry the most pain. Billie Holiday, the jazz icon known for her unique phrasing and emotional intensity, was another soulmate for Janis. Billie's voice was fragile, but full of strength, telling stories of heartbreak, hope, and injustice. Janis admired how Billie turned every song into a personal confession. Janis once said that listening to Billie was like hearing someone pour their soul out in real time. Billie's way of bending notes and timing wasn't about technical skill, but about feeling. Janis took this lesson deeply to heart. She learned from Billie that it's okay to be vulnerable on stage, to let your pain show. That vulnerability became a trademark of Janis' own style. She didn't just sing songs, she lived them in front of the audience. Together, Patsy Cline and Billie Holiday taught Janis about emotional honesty and storytelling in music. They were soulmates because they helped her find the balance between power and vulnerability, strength and softness. Janis's fifth and final soulmates came from a different side of music, the rebellious spirit of rock and soul. Aretha Franklin and Odetta were two women who brought fierce independence and raw emotion to their singing, inspiring Janis in ways that shaped her entire career. Aretha Franklin was the queen of soul, known for her powerhouse voice and unstoppable energy. Janis saw in Aretha a reflection of her own fiery spirit. Aretha's music wasn't just beautiful, it was a declaration of strength and pride, especially for Black women in a time of social change. Janis admired Aretha's ability to mix gospel roots with soul and rock, creating music that was both spiritual and electrifying. She felt connected to Aretha's message of empowerment and the way she used her voice as a weapon against injustice. Odetta was a folk and blues singer known for her deep, resonant voice and political activism. Janis connected with Odetta's commitment to using music as a tool for change. Both women shared a sense of fighting for freedom, in their music and in their lives. Odetta's influence on Janis was more than just musical, it was spiritual. Janis saw Odetta as a guide, someone who used her voice not only to entertain, but to awaken and inspire. These two soulmates helped Janis embrace the power of music as rebellion. They taught her that singing could be a way to fight back, to speak up, and to live boldly. Janis Joplin's connection to these five singers, Bessie Smith, Big Mama Thornton, Patsy Cline, Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, and Odetta, wasn't just about admiration. It was a deep, soulful bond that shaped her voice, her style, and her spirit. Through their music, she found the courage to be herself, raw and unfiltered. If you want to hear more about Janis's journey and how these soulmates helped her become a legend, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into music history like this.